linked with a return to Celtic. Is that something that you would actively pursue going forward?
Well, Kieran's someone I know really well, but there'll be lots of players that are linked with coming to Celtic. So we will never speak about a player, and especially a young player that's at another club. So, but no, we've got work to do. We know that we want to improve the squad further in a number of key areas. But until that happens, the players here have been working so well, and we'll just continue to work with them and see what happens in January. I said before the game that it would be something tangible to show for the great start that the players have made, and also it's great because we now have all 3 trophies to win and defend, and that's what we like. So, but the players done absolutely brilliant. You know, the mental strength got them through, and was so pleased for them and the supporters.
Does that show you a lot about being over the course and distance, how important that is, and even for the newer players coming in, the other players can pull them through?
Yeah, it also shows you that winning is hard. You know, I think people think that winning is easy and you can just turn up no matter how you're playing. You know, these games are all fine margins, and they always have been. So, but the players were able to dig deep. They kept, they came back from going behind. They go into the extra time, and then obviously when the pressure moments came, we scored the penalties really well. So yeah, it was a great victory, and so happy for everyone.
A lot's been said over the last week about whether Rangers should have had a penalty. Willie came out yesterday and said it should have been a penalty. What was your own thoughts when you hear comments like that?
Yeah, my own thoughts. I've been involved in 20 games now with Celtic Rangers, and I always feel there's a narrative of some sort after the game. And each game now, whether that is it should have been a penalty, it should have been a red card, should it not, should have been a goal, even penalties that are awarded even when it's offside. So there is always something in the narrative. So I can understand why you would maybe look at it when I see it and I evaluate it. I think the images that I seen was that it was probably given the foul for the initial foul, which was clearly not on the line. But of course it then moves on and goes on to the penalty aspect. But the bottom line is, however, whatever happens in the game, you have to get on with it. And for us, as I said, we can only control what we can. So and that was to go on and win the game. So yeah. It's there is always something after a Celtic Rangers game.
Absolutely. When you look at the actual what Willie has said, forgetting or not looking at who's involved, is there a bigger issue here about the VAR process maybe not working, and that's something that has already been acknowledged they have to develop?
No, I think it's always been acknowledged that even with VAR there will be human error. The guys are not machines. They're looking at a more calmer position rather than the pressurised one of the game, but it's still about interpretation. Obviously, clearly one of the VAR guys felt the initial foul took place, away from the incident when it rolled on, and that's his specialised opinion as an official. So and experienced official.